Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys, I've got another deck profile video for you, and we're going to be taking a look at the deck that got second place at the Argentina Nationals. Now, the last decks that I did that were decks from other nationals outside the country that I'm in seemed to do pretty well on my channel, so I figured I'd go ahead and keep up that momentum, and you guys can expect plenty more to come this week. I actually have a few more lined up already made here on Pokemon TCG Online, so I'll be doing those in the upcoming future. So today we're going to be taking a look at another Vespiquen deck, and I actually have one more that I'm going to be doing, and I think that'll be it for the Vespiquen decks that I'll be doing on my channel. But this one's a little different from the one I covered last time, and then the next one I'm covering is a little different from this one, so I figured why not. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at Vespiquen here. It has the attack Be Revenge. You can use Intelligence Gathering, but for the most part, there's a lot of things in this deck can attack for 1 energy, and that's just a lot better. Specifically Evital, but you're going to be doing Be Revenge. This attack does 20 plus 10 more for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So pretty much with this deck, you have a lot of things you can attack with during the game, and then kind of come in and sweep with Vespiquen. Now for some matchups, it's just really good to attack with Vespiquen, but I'll kind of go over here to the Pokemon, show you guys kind of the strategy, and show you what's going to be going on in this deck. And we're going to start off by taking a look at Gallade. Now, Gallade has the ability Premonition. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. And then it has Sensitive Blade, 60. And then if you play a supporter card this turn, it does 70 more damage. Now, we have the Maxie's engine kind of going on in this deck. So we have 1 Maxie's, and then we have the 2 Gallade. Now, this is just a really, really good card because it's a 1-prize attacker, and it's very handy against cards like Jolteon EX and Manectric EX, Mega Manectric EX. And really, it's just a really good way to soften up Pokemon. And then with the ability to manipulate your draw for certain situations, it's just very good. And it's just a really sweet card, honestly. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just a good card all around, so why not put it in here? Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Zoroark. I think the deck that I covered last time had Raichu in it, and so this is kind of a different setup with this one. It has the ability Stand-In, very similar to Keldeo EX. Pretty much if it's on your bench, you can make it your active, so you don't really have to rely on Switch that much. You do run 2 Floatstone in here, so that means you get to have that free retreat option. Checking out my man Phillip Rivers on TV. He's my favorite quarterback. But anyway, it also has the attack Mind Jack. It does 10 plus 30 more damage for each your opponent's bench Pokemon. So if your opponent has an absolute loaded bench down, you're going to be doing a ton of damage. And even if they have 3 bench Pokemon, without a Muscle Band, you're going to be doing 100 damage, which is very good. Zoroark, in my opinion, is one of the best Stage 1s and is easily one of my favorite cards that's currently legal in this format. So we got 2-2 of that bad boy. Now next up, we're going to be taking a look at one of the 2 Evital that I have in here, or that the person had in here, because this is not my list. And really with this card, I didn't understand how good it was until I played in Kansas Regionals and I had the ability to play around with it. This thing is an absolute monster. So it has the ability Fright Night. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, each Pokemon tool in play has no effect. Now this is very good because it shuts down cards like Fighting Fury Belt. Ooh, excuse me. It shuts down like Spirit Link, shuts down Floatstones. I mean, any tool just kind of shuts it down. And then it has the attack Pitch Black Sphere, 60, and then this attack does 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon EX. In Kansas, I actually retreated my Pokemon. No, I did Rush In, and I retreated and Lysandered up a Pokemon that had a Fighting Fury Belt on it that was extremely damaged with this, and knocked it out, and then I got to do my attack. So that's just one of the kind of situations that you can run into. Yes, it's a very, very difficult situation to get into. But for the most part, this card's just very good because it's really easy to kind of soften up Pokemon EX with this card. Especially if you're able to get 2 attacks off, it's very good. Now, in some situations, if you can put like a lot of pressure on your Pokemon or your opponent's Pokemon, just kind of like Lysander up, maybe like a Hoopa or something like that, or a Pokemon that absolutely needs a like Floatstone to get out of the active spot, and you're able to pull off like 3 attacks with this, that is the capability of taking 4 prizes in 1 turn. And you can just really manipulate the game and kind of set it up to where this card's going to do a lot of damage. Potentially, you're more likely going to get about 2 attacks off, depending on what you're going against. And so just thinking about it, you're doing 2 attacks, so it's going to be like 120 to 2 Pokemon, so that's very good. This is a very, very strong card, and I definitely like it. Chargers identity in 2016. Hopefully it's better than last season. Anyway, get back to this video. Next up, we're going to take a look at the other Evital. Now, you can use Darkness Blade with this card, but pretty much you're just wanting to be using Oblivion Wing. It does 30 damage, and you can attach a Dark Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So this card has multiple purposes, one of which being keeping energy on the field. And then the second one for me personally is just a counter to Night March, having something in there to fight Night March. They do kind of strain away from how they used to. Some do really focus on Mew now. But for the most part, you can really do some damage with this card if you play it smart and you play it right. So, yeah, that's pretty much in here. Just like for me personally, that's what I like it for. And plus, it's just a good one prize attacker to start with and do some damage and keep the energy on the field. And let's see. So next up, we're going to take a look at Seismitoad EX. Seismitoad EX is in here for the Quaking Punch attack. And it does 30, and your opponent can't play any items during their next turn. Now, this is a very good way to kind of slow down your opponent, keep the game in your favor more, and kind of play at your pace and how you want to play the game. Some decks definitely really do struggle when they don't have item cards to absolutely explode with, and with Seismitoad, you're going to be shutting that down. So, you know, this isn't like your main attacker of the deck. It's just really good for some matchups because they just can't do anything. Ooh. I saw the Chargers record from last season, and I just cringed a little. But anyway, next up, we're going to take a look at Jirachi. It has the attack Stardust. It does 10 damage, and you can discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. If you do, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. So if your opponent has something like a DCE or a strong energy or any kind of special energy on their Pokemon, you're going to discard that, and it pretty much forces them to try to Lysander around Jirachi. And next up, we're going to take a look at a card that's very similar to Seismitoad EX as far as what it's in here for, and that's just to annoy your opponent. Now, yes, Slash Blast does take a metal energy, but kind of dive into why this is in here. So, Aegislash has the ability Mighty Shield. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any special energy attached to it. So, if your opponent, some decks really rely on special energy. Like, special energy is what makes the deck just kind of work and click. And if you have this up, yes, you're only going to be doing about 40 to 60 damage. But when you think about it, if you're just doing about 60 damage and they're not able to do anything, then the matchup's just going to be in your favor. And some decks actually only play special energy. So that's something to keep in mind there. And so Aegislash is just a really good way to kind of annoy your opponent and just really have that scare factor in a matchup. Now, a lot of players that I know specifically are, like whenever they build something, they're always like, all right, I need a Hex Maniac or I need something to counter Aegislash. Because, yes, Aegislash isn't like an overly popular card, but you just never know. You just never know when you're going to see it, and, you just kind of have to be mentally prepared for it and just kind of know what you need to do against it. So it's definitely a good card, very annoying and very scary. This is a card that I'm terrified of, and I hate going against it. Next up, we're going to take a look at Shaman EX. Shaman EX is in here for the setup ability, and you never know when Sky Return is going to come in handy in some matchups. So Shaman is really good in here. Plus, we'll play 3 of them, so it kind of ups the consistency here a little bit. And plus, you're able to discard these with Battle Compressor, so it's very good. And now we're going to go ahead and get into the supporters here, guys. Pretty standard, pretty straightforward. 3 Sycamore, then we have 1 Zero-Sick. Zero-Sick is really good because you can discard special energy or you can discard a tool or something like that. Kind of going back to Fighting Fury Belt, you have the potential to kind of knock out something. If you hit it hard enough, maybe Pitch Black Spear something on the bench 2 or 3 times, Zero-Sick, you take a prize. Just a scenario there. Or if they have a Float Stone on something, you can discard that, or a Spirit Link, or just whatever. AZ is really good because you can pick up a Pokemon. So if you have something like extremely heavily damaged, like maybe a Seismitoad, or maybe an Aegislash, or you have something kind of stuck in the active spot, you can pick it up and put it back in your hand, or you can have the potential to pick up a Shaman to get it off the field, or Sky Return again. And then we have Hex Maniac. If you open with Hex Maniac and you Hex Maniac your opponent turn 1, it's just really annoying because they can't grab cards like Shaman or Hoopa. And then if you're going against like a Bats deck and you're able to pull this off in a clutch turn, then they can't use that. But yeah, Hex Maniac just shuts down all abilities. Very handy card. Then we got a Lysander, just to bring up something and knock it out that might be heavily damaged. And we already took a look at the Maxie's Hidden Ball trick. Put a fighting Pokemon for your discard pile onto your bench and then draw 5 cards. You can only play it with the last card in your hand. And that's just in here for Gallade. And then round it off with N. N's a very annoying card because if you're extremely late in the game, your opponent has taken 4 or 5 prizes, then you can just kind of bring them to 1 and just be a really big annoyance. Plus, it's just a good draw supporter. I think that's going to do it for the supporters. Yep. Alright, now we're going to take a look at the trainers in here. So we have 4 Battle Compressor. Battle Compressor serves multiple purposes in this deck, one of which being just discarding Pokemon to your discard pile that you might not need in a matchup. Maybe you won't need the Aegislash or the Seismitoad or the Evital or something like that, or just whatever. And plus you can get the Gallades in the discard pile, so that way you can have the potential to just Vespiquen or play max use from your hand. But really you're going to be having it to fuel Bee Revenge. So that's just pretty cool. So next up we're going to take a look at Super Rod. This is in here to put stuff back in here to your deck. Ugh. Got a little tongue tied there. Yeah, Super Rod, you guys know what Super Rod is for. Trainer's Mail, this is kind of just upping the consistency, letting you grab cards like your supporters and your trainers and whatnot. Ultra Ball allows you to search Pokemon and discard Pokemon from your hand. Vespiquen to get back your supporters. Okay, we're back on the supporters. And we run 2 Floatstone. We do run Zoroark, so that's pretty good. Plus Aegislash and Seismitoad all have very hefty retreat costs. So that's pretty good to have this in here because you just can make it a little more maneuverable and you don't have to burn as many energy to retreat. 2 Muscle Band just to kind of increase the damage that we do with this deck. Yeah, you'll be short a lot of times with some damage. You can throw this on either Vespiquen, you can throw it on maybe Aegislash to do 60 instead of 40, and you can throw it on Zoroark just to hit a little harder. And I think that's about it for the trainers. Yes, it is. Now for energy, pretty standard, pretty straightforward. We have 4 DCE and we have 4 dark energy. Hopefully I didn't mess up the deck too much when I was talking, because I do have a problem with my speaking sometimes. And yeah, hopefully I didn't miss any key points with this deck. Really, it is extremely straightforward. There's just a lot of cards in here doing a lot of different things. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like it. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. I would love to have you here on my channel. But yeah, you guys are amazing. Make sure to stay tuned for some more decks that I'll have going throughout this week. And I have a video that I'm going to be working on here. That's going to be a new series starting up on my channel. Hopefully I'm going to be posting it on different places, you know, trying to see if I can't get the word out that I want people to start doing this. But anyway, you guys are amazing. Take care. I love you. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care, guys.